Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Welcome, everyone, and it is so good to be back among you. Some of you know I've been out having a new hip put in place, and it's so good to be back here. Thank you for all of your good prayers and wishes. I have very much felt them, and it is so good to see all of your faces. Welcome to First Unitarian Church on this Homecoming Sunday, the beginning of a new church year. This is a new year, and I hope you were able to have some pancakes before the service. Compliments of our men's community. We're so glad they will continue to do that on the first Sundays of the month this year. Following the service, join for social hour and some special treats. That will be next door in our Buchanan building. And if you're a newcomer to our community, I encourage you to visit the First Connections table. That will be in Buchanan today in social hour. We're so glad you're here among us if you're new today, and I've met several of you who are new today. Come and check out our classes and small groups, ways to get involved in our community. And we especially welcome our children and youth back this morning. Our learning community will be focused on building community this month of September before classes begin in earnest in October. And a new thing this year, we will be having children and youth at the beginning of every service every Sunday. So let's look forward to that. That offers us a chance to be together as a community and across the generations. A reminder that 3 of our online weekly offerings will be returning now in September. Our loving kindness meditation on Monday evenings, our Wednesday night meditation group, and our weekly Vespers service early Friday evenings. Those are all on Zoom, and you can find those links in our weekly Front Steps newsletter. And one special note, next Sunday, September 14th, our church will be participating in Portland Sunday Parkways. Come and check out our church booth in Pioneer Courthouse Square next Sunday. That will be happening after church. It's so good to be together, and let's take a time now and greet one another as we come together in this new year. I want to call forward our chalice lighter, Frankie Dahl. Where are you, Frank? There's Frankie. And if you're joining us from home, we invite you to light a chalice at home. Good job. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love.
And I want to invite Kaya to come join me up here. Our call to worship this morning is actually a responsive reading by Joan Javier Duval, and Kaya is going to help lead all of you. And this time, the words actually begin with you. And Kaya, will you help them learn their line?
Yes. You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
whether you have untold stories buried deep inside, or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
in this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection, let us worship together. May it be so, friends. Thank you.
Thank you, choir. Each week we take time in our service to hold up the concerns and the joys of our community life together. Pastoral support happens in our congregations in a number of ways, through our ministers and through our lay ministers. You can leave a prayer intention in one of our side galleries. Those are held by our ministers and lay ministers throughout the week. I have several concerns to bring you today. Longtime member Tony Pageant died Thursday morning at the age of 85 after living with cancer in her last year. Tony was a retired school teacher, and here at the church, she was part of our Quilts of Love group, as well as our Alliance. She was a faithful attender of our Elliott Institute retreats over many, many years. One friend said, no matter the setting, Tony was always ready to take on some new creative project. Tony's husband, John, her daughters, and their extended family appreciate the support of First Church during her final weeks, and they're planning a memorial service for Tony in these weeks to come. We hold member Sarah Seidler this morning. Her father, George Howard Cross III, died on Thursday in Michigan. Sarah said he died peacefully after a time of living with twisted bowels and multiple surgeries. She said he was a good father, and he was known as Grumps to his grandchildren. Sarah and her husband, Bill, are on an extended international trip, and they return to Portland periodically, but they still consider this their spiritual home. Our flowers today are given in memory of Mike Couch. Mike's celebration of life was held yesterday, and we celebrate his life again this morning. Longtime member Brent Schauer suffered a head injury on Friday and is currently in the ICU at OHSU. Brent is doing well and he's recovering. He's not yet up to visitors at this time, but his wife Diane and their daughters welcome our healing thoughts and prayers. And a joy to share this morning as we come together. This weekend, 2 of our recent high school graduates head up to Bellingham to begin their studies at Western Washington University. The La Rosa Peters family is dropping off son Maxon, and the Dearborns are dropping off daughter Sadie. We send Maxon and Sadie off with our good wishes, and we look forward to their return when they are back here in Portland on break. Will you join me now in a spirit of prayer and meditation? Spirit of life and of love, God of many names and no name at all, hear our prayers this day. We begin, Spirit, once again in gratitude simply for this day. We give thanks for gentle rains that hint at the coming of a new season. We give thanks for our coming together once again as a community, this community where we mark the passages of our lives as we have from one generation to another. This is a place where we are all welcome, from our earliest days to our final days, and weaving through all these times the gift of community, the opportunity to know others and to be known by others who accompany us. May those bonds hold us and sustain us through the times of our lives, in the midst of sorrows and joys, in the midst of so much that would threaten that which is precious and tender and dear. Through it all, remind us that we are not alone, Spirit. Call us out of our isolation. Call us to hold in our care those who are most vulnerable in these times where love of power and love of war seem to be what dominates. Remind us that we are all in this together, in this place. May we find our grounding. Call us to build that community we know as beloved in all of our days. Blessed be. And amen. Let's keep silence now for a few moments together. Let's sing together now, Spirit of Life.
Hello, beloved ones. Hello, good morning. It is wonderful to see all of you, and I just want to offer a special welcome to any children or youth, any kids maybe I haven't met yet. I see a lot of new faces. My name is Leah Ongiri, and I get to direct all of the learning community programs. So that means all of the fun things that we do as families, that children and youth get to do. I want you to know that next week, we start our full program. If families have questions or curiosities, please come find me after the service. You can also get a lot of information on our website. You're welcome to register in advance. And you can also just come next week. We'll all meet together here again at 10:15 in the sanctuary, and then together we'll all move next door to where our programming happens. So a special welcome, and also a special story for you today. It's called Annie and Bert, a weaving story, and it's written by Emily Hall with illustrations by Victoria Semikina. One day, a bird named Bert woke up shivering with very cold toes. When he stepped out of bed, his foot crashed through the floor and loose twigs fell to the ground.
"Drat,"
said Bert. And he flew off feeling quite sorry for himself. But then in the distance, he spied a string drifting from a window, curling and straightening and dropping and lifting. The string, it turned out, came from a room of many strings wound neatly on spools. Bert thought,
"Perfect. I'll tie the twigs together."
He plucked at a string to see what it was, and then another, and then another. And then he noticed in the middle of the room an enormous machine with wheels and pedals and thousands of strings.
"Now what is that? A bridge? A piano? Could it be a nest?"
It was definitely not a nest. Soon he was snarled in string and had made an impressive mess. Just then a woman entered the room.
My goodness, what are you doing here?
"I think that's obvious."
The woman untangled Bert from the loom.
I'm Annie, and this is my studio.
I'm Bert, and I'm looking for string to tie together my broken nest.
Well, I use these strings for weaving, to make fabrics for rugs and curtains and many other things. It's a bit like tying things together. Shall I show you how it works?
If you like.
I've never taught a bird before, but we'll start at the beginning.
She took a plain wood square with strings stretched over it.
This is a loom, and these are threads. And now we'll weave.
Annie led a smooth, bright thread over the first string and under the next one. She went over and under the next strings to the end, and then she changed direction and did it again. And slowly, row by row, a fabric grew.
That's lovely, but it'll take forever. I can't wait that long.
If you are so impatient, let's use my big loom.
Annie wove a thread through the strings. She stepped on a petal. The threads changed places. The ones above became the ones below.
Over and under, just the same.
How about you fix my nest for me?
Absolutely not. You learn to weave by weaving.
Is that how you learned?
That is exactly how I learned. I went to a school where we learned by experimenting and playing with different kinds of thread instead of being told what to do. We learned to look at familiar objects like teapots and chairs and toys and see them as something brand new.
Playing and experimenting at school sounds delightful.
I had to use my imagination and invent things that didn't exist. And I came to love to weave, to make fabrics that were beautiful as well as useful.
This concludes the first part of our story, but hang on to that idea of noticing what is beautiful and useful as we pause to give and receive our offering. We're going to catch up with Annie and Bert in a few minutes.
During our break, we will be taking our offering today. It's our custom in this new church year, we're dedicating our shared plates to community organizations with which First Unitarian has partnerships for justice and for service. For this month of September, we're sharing our plate with our very own 13 Salmon Shower Project. Launched in January of 2023, the Shower Project has grown to serve over 1,300 unhoused guests, averaging 22 per day, with showers, hygiene supplies, overdose prevention kits, clean clothes, a warm meal, and a kind welcome from our volunteers. The Shower Project puts love at the center, making a difference in each guest and each volunteer's life. This is what one guest shared. Thank you for not treating me like an outcast. Thank you for not treating me mean or abrasive. Thank you for being the only positive encounter I've had in months. Those are sad words, but beautiful words. And a note that we're going to take our offering as we usually do today. You can put your donation in a basket. There will be a QR code shortly, and you can give electronically. And at the end of our service today, we're going to be having a special project that we're going to do together. So as our ushers come through, they're going to be bringing through strips of paper. And so take one of those and take a pen to write with as they come through. So multitasking is the order in the next few minutes, and we will take part in that activity together at the end of our service. And before we take our offering, once again, thank you for your generosity and all that you do that sustains this community we love. We will now gratefully receive our offering.
Okay, we need to get back to Annie, our artist, and to Bert, because he needs to repair his nest.
Now, to choose the right threads, you have to know what problems you want to solve. Do you want your nest to stay dry in the rain, or be smooth when you're dancing in it, or soft for sleeping? Some of these threads are made by machines. Others come from plants and animals and have been used by weavers for a very long time. They were used by my great and important teachers who lived more than 1,000 years ago. With my husband, Joseph, I traveled to Mexico and Peru and Chile, where I saw magnificent fabrics made long, long ago. With dazzling colors and shapes, weavers told stories and family histories and recorded what they saw in the sky. And one of my favorites shows a majestic bird.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I tried to weave in ways that made fabrics feel like paintings. I crossed and uncrossed threads. I gathered them and twisted them. I tied knots that interrupted them. One of my teachers liked to say that a line is a dot that went for a walk. Paul Klee, I believe. So sometimes I took the thread for a walk. If you listen to your threads, you might find out what they have to say.
But what are these fabrics for?
This is important. I hope you're listening. They're not for walking or wearing. They're for sitting next to and looking at and thinking about.
Bert looked at Annie's fabrics and thought about them. Some were delicate and glittering and made him hold his breath. Some made him energetic. Others made his brain and feathers calm. Some looked like writing in secret code, or like the city when he flew over it.
Enjoying them makes them useful.
I'm so glad you see that.
Let's not forget about my busted nest. I haven't got any thread, let alone a loom.
You're the artist and the explorer and the inventor. Why, you can weave with nothing more than a loom made of sticks and things you can find at the beach.
Bert imagined himself at the beach. He flew in circles around the studio.
Seaweed or fish bones, or straws and candy wrappers.
Yes, all of the stuff the world is made of. You'll weave something that is all Bert. What will that be?
Warm and comfortable. Good looking would be nice too. Fish bones won't work. They're thin and hard and they smell awful.
Now you're thinking like a weaver.
Bert got to work. Weaving and repairing his nest took a long time. It was more challenging than he had imagined. He listened to his threads and tested them and broke them. He did his best to be patient. He began again and again. Eventually, he made something he couldn't wait to tell Annie about. But first, he took a nap in his own waterproof, warm, and good-looking nest. So that is the end of our story, and I want to thank our readers. And I also want to thank the life and legacy of Annie Albers. Bert is not real, but Annie was an important Jewish artist who was forced to immigrate to the US when the Nazis closed the German art school she ran in the 1930s. She's famous for combining high art, like a kind of painting you would see in a museum, with traditional crafts that had function. She designed cloth, and she, like Bert in our story, used all kinds of materials to make her textiles. Old plastic, grass, corn, even bits of metal.
So the activity is going to follow our this short reflection, but I want to do a preview. We're going to weave a mural of community together. That will be on the front of our sanctuary, and different patterns may emerge. So we'll see what happens. In the story we just heard, we met Annie Albers, a woman who was eventually invited to join the Bauhaus School, but not before being rejected. She tried again and was let in, but Mr. Gropius, that's his real last name, Mr. Gropius, the founder of the school, felt the Heavy craft areas, the rooms of carpentry, metalwork, painting, architecture, and the fine arts were better suited to men. He would, however, allow her to be involved in the paler arts, he said, the softer arts, the lighter crafts of bookbinding or weaving. Annie chose weaving, initially wondering what she would do with just these threads. But ultimately, she used the restrictions placed on her and wove a path of liberation. Her bold designs broke rules of traditional pattern making. She explored weaving as a language of form and fine art. Her graduation project even functioned like architecture, like a wall that was able to absorb sound and reflect light using chenille and cellophane. It was groundbreaking work. Upon graduation, Annie became a teacher of the weaving workshop in the school where she was once rejected. Annie Albers is thought of as the mother of a movement, shaping and reshaping what was possible with weaving, something useful and beautiful, a work of fine art or architecture. Her weavings did function like paintings, helping us to make meaning, threads that explore the movements of grief about a beloved friend, or about the 6 million who perished in the Holocaust. She had a way of capturing energy in her weaving, such as one that reflects the bustling of a city. Annie became the first weaver to have a solo exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City in 1949, in which her weavings hung on room dividers she had also woven. As Leah shared, Annie had to flee from Germany under Hitler's regime. Otherwise, as a Jewish woman, she quite likely would have perished. She came to the United States, where she taught at the Black Mountain School in South Carolina. Annie was a teacher who believed that the purpose of education was to encourage experimentation and innovation. As it said in the story, school is not a place for others to tell you what to do or how to be. It is a place for you to be able to play and imagine how you'll do it. Even with the limiting factor of sexism, this is what she learned at the Bauhaus School, which was one of the reasons it was shut down by Hitler and the growing fascist powers in Germany in the lead up to the Second World War. Their work holding on to experimental, border-crossing creativity in the face of authoritarian attempts to control culture was a quiet act of defiance, encouraging others to do the same. Today, as we are living in a time of increasing control by a government seeking to clamp down on what is different and dehumanizing so many and attempting to do so through force and dominance, let us look at artists in history and all around us and within each one of us. Those who can teach us something of resilience, resistance, and of the power to make change through creation rather than through destruction. The artists who remind us that we are woven and bound to one another and to all those who have gone before and will come after. And it must be said that although Annie Albers created groundbreaking work, she had a deep reverence for the thousands of years of weaving before her, for the loom, for the technology before the loom of basket weaving, and was greatly affected by travels to South and Central America, where she saw the most beautiful designs that took her breath away and had her excited to call herself a weaver. Weaving connects us. Weaving connects us to our history, to the patterns handed down from one generation to the next. Weaving connects us to the fact of our interdependence. Most of us already did something today that wouldn't exist without woven threads. Anyone of any age know what that is? We got dressed. In the past, most of us would have known how and where the fibers were grown and spun, and whose talent or care or both clothed us. Weaving connects us to warmth and compassion, blankets swaddling babies, covering us in the chill of fall and winter, surrounding our beloveds in times of illness, and woven shrouds honor the dead. Weaving connects us also to the opposite, to stories of exploitation and dehumanization that we must reckon with. Indigo and cotton remind us of the noxious practice of slavery, of forced hard labor, and extracting knowledge and skill from people to adorn ourselves with beauty, steeped in our capacity for ugliness. Weaving connects us to movements of liberation. In the American Revolution and in the Khadi movement initiated by Gandhi in India, homespun, hand-woven garments said, "We can resist. We can sustain ourselves and cut ties with any king." Even today, our woven flags and banners and shirts announce the road to freedom and rejection of tyranny. Weaving connects us to our global neighbors. Certain designs tell us who we are and where we came from, who others are and where they came from, and teach us our common and separate stories and histories. Weaving connects us to creativity. Every weaving is indebted to every pattern that has come before, and yet every time someone sits or stands before a loom, a new pattern may emerge and show us how to become artists and artisans of a new way. Weaving connects us to story. It is not just fibers that are woven and spun and that we clothe ourselves in. Weaving is what we do here in our theology and meaning making, pulling threads from here and there, wisdom from the ages and the sages and the poets and artists that teach us something about what it means to lead a life that matters. Weaving connects us to one another. Here, we weave the fabric of community from the strands of our separate lives on a loom of love that stretches back 160 years to 1865 here in Portland and allows each and every one of us and you online to take turns fashioning who we are collectively becoming and shaping and reshaping the weaving as an always unfolding, never-ending craft and co-creation born of the hope that love can transform all of us until we includes all the living. Amen, and blessed be, and may it be so. So our small project is weaving those, and by the way, for folks online, if you write into the chat what you would want to write on this, we will add it to our collection, or you can send an email. We're gonna weave it during the week and then present a full community mural in the coming Sundays. So, what to put on here? I invite you into a time of reflection and possibly written word or image artistry. What connects you to this place? Some words. What first connected you to this place? What made you want to continue to connect to this place? And how do you weave connections so others can find their place in the fabric of community? Any words or images that come to mind with these questions? So, what are the weavings of connections that this community means to you? And just in case it's your first time, it could be a greeting. It could be something that caught your eye on our website. It could be anything. We're all connected in this room. And now I invite you to turn to a neighbor and to share something of the connection that you wrote on your slip of paper. And online, I invite you to write about your connection in the chat or in the comments, and we will add one slip of paper for each one of those comments. So we can continue those stories following the service in our festive social hour, where we're going to be sharing the sacrament of coffee and some sweet and savory treats. And if you didn't finish what was on your slip of paper, don't worry, there's still some time before the end of the service. Now let us rise together in body or spirit, and let us sing the fire of commitment. So on your way out, I invite you to take your slip of paper and put it in a basket. If you're online, to put it in the chat. And actually, if you can't figure out how to do that, you can email it to me, amiller@firstunitarianportland.org. How much I would love to come home and just open my email with stories of how you connected to this congregation. And now, in our going, may the light of love bless us and keep us. May it shine down upon us. May it be gracious unto us. May it radiate out from within us. And may it ripple out through our own deeds of weaving on a loom of love. For this is the day that you and I are given. So let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace. Practice love. Amen.